If you're a DIY, low-budget indie filmmaker much like myself, and you've been on the hunt for the perfect yet affordable RGB lighting tube fixtures, this is going to be a video for you. Alright folks, I searched for about 6 to 8 months doing a ton of research trying to figure out what RGB tubes I could buy to create my own poor man's version of the Astera Titan Tubes kit. Now if you follow any trends in cinematography, you know that the Astera Titan Tubes are the creme de la creme of RGB tubes, right? I mean, these are what all of our top DOPs are using, all of our freelance cinematographers that are working in high-end commercial cinematography and feature films around the world are all using these Astera Titan tubes. They were literally created for broadcast and cinema use. They have really high CRI values, just awesome colors. You can pixel map these things. I mean, they're badass. There's no doubt about it. And that is why they have a hefty price tag of up to $8,000, right? So a guy like me is not going to have the Astera Titan tubes in his kit, sadly enough, not anytime this year anyways, right? So I started researching some of the other lower tier RGB tubes, such as the Quasar Rainbows. Now I know that Quasar recently rolled out the new R2s. It's like the Mark II versions of their rainbow tubes, and those now can be pixel mapped as well. So they're definitely competing with companies like Astera and also our other company, Digital Sputnik. Digital Sputnik have these Voyager tubes, and if you ever saw Star Wars Rogue One, the Voyager tubes were used in that film. Here's a couple caveats about the lower end tubes. RGB Quasar Rainbows are pretty awesome. Those were on my radar for a long time. The one downside of those tubes, they have no built-in batteries. So you'd always have to have some sort of external battery running a stinger to them. That kind of defeats the purpose of having tubes like this. I mean, one of the reasons that you want these tubes is not just for the RGB capabilities, but also because of the pure versatility of them, you know? Just being a single tube that has a built-in battery, you can just put them anywhere, right? So the rainbow tubes, the Mark I versions anyways, were kind of out on that. And plus, the price tag for what it is, come on, they should have had a built-in battery to begin with, right? And then the next one is the Digital Sputnik Voyager tubes. Now those are awesome, and they have a really killer app. In theory, and I say in theory because I have heard many a gaffer and many a DOP talk about how they just are not a fan of that app, and I have watched the Digital Sputnik app crash firsthand on a film where I was hired as the camera PA / BTS photographer, and I saw the Digital Sputnik Voyagers attempting to be used on a set, and the DP eventually just told the gaffer to scrap them. So yeah, there's still a lot of bugs and kinks that need to be fixed with that Digital Sputnik app, but one day, hopefully, when they do get it fixed, it will be awesome. However, I will say, in studying all the photometrics of the tubes, the Digital Sputnik Voyager tubes are at the lowest in terms of output. So here is the kit I created. These are the Pavo tubes. We've been hearing about the Pavo tubes for 2 years. Come on, Justin. But before you click off, these are not the Pavo tubes that everyone else is talking about. My Pavo tubes cost hundreds of dollars less. It is true. These are exactly like the NanLite Pavo tubes that we see out there. However, this is not a NanLite logo. The only difference of my Pavo tubes versus the NanLite Pavo tubes is this Nanguang logo and the fact that for the 2-foot tubes, they're $130 less, and for the 4-foot tubes, they are $220 less. Now, I've been using this kit for like the past month or so. If you've been eyeing my videos closely, you've already seen it. This is all my own stuff, right? Showing the BTS. I've been doing lighting tests with these Pavo tubes. Did music videos, even a lot of my talking heads. Even this video right now is being lit with 2 of the 2-footers. I've been having a lot of fun creating different ways, different fixtures of these things. I'm gonna have videos coming up in the near future showing an awesome little portable book light that I've been doing with the 2-foot tube. So cool stuff there if you want to check out more of a DIY build later on in the weeks to come. So here's the deal on this. Nanguang is the original Chinese company that first came up with the Pavo tube and first started releasing those things worldwide. I guess as soon as people started catching on to these Pavo tubes and liking them, Nanguang said, hey, why don't we start a company over in the US? We'll call it NanLite, N-A-N-L-I-T-E, and we'll sell them for a couple $100 more per tube. And that's what they did, and that's what they still do. Now, if you are searching on eBay for the Nanguang Pavo tubes, you'll notice that the prices aren't as extreme as what I'm talking about. But if you search for them on Amazon, they are, right? So for my particular kit, I at first bought a 2 kit of the 4-foot Pavo Nanguang tubes. For this 2 kit of the 4-footers, I got it for $445. For 2 lights, it comes with a slew of accessories. They have these little cables that you can connect, and you can make one light a master and have other tubes connected to it, and they're all slaves, meaning one light, all the others will do exactly what the first light is doing, so you don't have to go around adjusting each one. Comes with these awesome little holders, these little tube holders that are clear on one side, and so on the other side they have 2 quarter 20s in them, and they come with power adapters. And if you buy the double kit, the power adapter comes with a built-in splitter, so you can charge both tubes at once, right? Now for this same exact kit, for the NanLite versions, it's nearly $700, right? So, and now for the 2-footers, I bought a single 2-footer, and they're about $145, $148. Comes with all the accessories, little nice soft carrying case. If you were to buy the NanLite version of that, it's $278. So this is wild, right? This is like a weird little loophole I found. So I'm gonna put a link down in the description below to both the Nanguang tubes and the NanLite tubes, so you can see for yourselves, check it out, and I would highly recommend that you bookmark that Nanguang link if you're looking to save us a couple $100, right? And I say that because when you click on it, I'm pretty much about 90% positive that it'll say currently not available. But if you bookmark that link and periodically check it, because this is what I did when I was buying these things, and if you check it like late at night or early in the AM is when I found it, anywhere from like 5 to 7 AM. And usually Nanguang will put them in stock on the Amazon link, but only like 1 or 2 at a time. And if you have that money saved somewhere in a little nest egg and you see it pop up, I would recommend buying it immediately because it will go fast, right? So this is some kind of weird loophole. I'm not sure the logic behind it, because as I dug deeper into my research, Nanguang actually owns NanLite. You know, that is a true thing. So it's just interesting to me. You know, it's like McDonald's and Chipotle, and in this case, Chipotle is NanLite and McDonald's is Nanguang, right? It's just one of these weird things because they're all under the same umbrella. This is a killer kit. Now let's talk about the photometrics. Let's start at the creme de la creme of the Astera Titan tubes. As you'll see here, at 1 meter away, and by the way, this is for the 6-foot version of the Astera Titan. At 1 meter away, it's coming in at 1570 lux, okay? This is at the normal 5600 Kelvin white balance, right? Okay, so if we compare that to, say, the 4-foot Quasar rainbow tube, the Mark I version, right? We look at that at 1 meter, it is coming in at 890 lux. So the Quasar 4-foot rainbow tube is pretty dang close. It's only, what, probably like 800 lux less than the Astera Titan tube. That's pretty good, you know, considering the difference in price between these two things. But now let's look at the Pavo 4-foot tube. The same temperature, 5600 Kelvin, at the same distance, 1 meter, okay, I'm getting these things, right? And especially when I found the cheaper Nanguang version, it's literally the same exact tube. I mean, check it out in the B-roll here. Literally the only thing that's different is that logo and obviously the price tag. I've been loving these tubes mainly for their versatility. The battery life is amazing. I shot a music video this past weekend and I was using the 2 2-footers and 1 of the 4-footers, and we were in an interior bar setting for about 6 hours, and we were working those lights. We were working them. you know, varying levels, varying color temperatures, varying RGB colors. And when we left that 6-hour shoot, I checked the 2-foot tubes, and each of them were around 40% still left, and the 4-foot was only down to 80%. So the battery life is pretty stellar on these things. They charge up very nicely, very quickly as well, under 2 hours, and with the 4-foot tubes, in less than 2 hours, they're fully charged again. The cool thing is, if you are on a really long shoot and you actually do die, you know, you can just run a stinger to them and they still operate while they're plugged in. So that's nice as well. You can create essentially over 16 million different color choices because you have complete control of the hue, saturation, and intensity, so that's nice. But they are very, very simple lights, right? There's no app for these things. That's something to take into account, right? The Pavo tubes don't have an app, but I think that's better that way, honestly. You know, it's just a simple, nice tube. You don't have to worry about gels. You can put it anywhere. They come with these awesome clamps. The options are pretty much limitless in terms of where you can stash these things. They come with these cool little like cables that thread into the ends of the light, and then you can just kind of hang them from somewhere. I mean, you can do all kinds of stuff with this, right? They have really nice bicolor readings. The CRI value is good. The bicolor goes from 2700 Kelvin all the way up to 6500 Kelvin, and they're completely dimmable at 1% increments. I've been loving these things. I can't get enough of them. And I did a lot of time and research in trying to figure out, okay, I want to build a poor man's version of the Astera Titan Tubes kit. Now, I got them in this rifle case. Obviously, they don't come with this. They come instead in these little soft cases. They actually come in really nice little soft cases, to be honest. But I wanted them all together, and I was able to put all the accessories and the lights in there. And this is just like a 4.5-foot long rifle case. It has wheels. It's basically like a knockoff Pelican case. I'll look around and see if I can find something comparable to this on Amazon and put a link to this down in the description below as well. Yeah, and then in terms of the digital Sputnik Voyager tube, I did, however, find a really nice video, another DP, comparing the digital Sputnik Voyager with the Astera Titan with the Quasar Rainbows. So I'll put a link to his video down in the description below, and it's pretty awesome, and you can see that those digital Sputnik Voyager tubes have like almost no output compared to the Quasar Rainbow and the Astera Titan. And that just gives you an idea of where they stack up next to the Pavo tube. You know, they've got a really nice high output again, but they're not pixel mapped, and that means that you can't have multiple colors in once on one tube, you know, so it's just kind of a simple RGB tube, but really high output, which I really like. If you are a frugal, low budget indie filmmaker like me, you're kind of always reaching out, where can I get the highest output, the most bang for the buck? With my complete kit that I've assembled, 4 tubes in total, 2 4-footers and 2 2-footers, and it only cost me $700 for all 4 of these lights. I mean, that's pretty awesome. But again, that's because I scoped out and waited for the Nanguang versions to become available. So yeah, take advantage of those links, bookmark them, and they'll become available too. And I wouldn't be surprised if after this video is out for a while, if NanLite starts dropping their prices a little bit, because I tend to see that happen with other products that I talk about on the channel here. And I know I don't have a huge viewing, I don't have a gigantic following, but I definitely use all the tags to my advantage. And most companies, you know, they flag their company name, and it's simple as, you know, flagging a Google search, right? And I've noticed that in the past for products that aren't shipped to me, you know, products that I bought with my own money and I just talk about them here on the channel. I've noticed I've gone back later and looked at those Amazon links and the price has dropped a little bit. So we could maybe, you know, wait for that too. But also this could be just their marketing scheme, right? You know, this could be just what they do. We don't know. But yeah, so there it is. And yeah, I've already been showing these. I revealed these like 3 weeks ago over on the Patreon. So my Patreon folks already knew I had these and I've been using these. But yes, speaking of the Patreon, we are balls deep into the feature film choices. So if you're wondering about that whole process, I just dropped behind the scenes on day 3, talking about, you know, how we can get the most out of, you know, shooting a very DIY, low budget, independent feature film, and how we're doing with, you know, limited gear and shooting interior, but looking out huge windows in the Bel Air estates, and how we're battling that and how we're maintaining exposure for that, and also just keeping keeping our cool and understanding, dealing with insecurities on set, right? Someone like me, I may be working in the film industry for 10 years, but however, I've only been doing freelance cinematography work since 2017, right? So coming onto a camera crew like this was only my second feature as DP, and literally the rest of the camera crew, they've been doing camera department way longer than I have. So, you know, you start getting an inner monologue of some insecurities and things, and so we talk about all that over on the Patreon. So I invite all of you to join us. It's getting pretty deep over there, and it's a lot of fun, and it's a safe, free zone for me to critique and analyze my work without having to worry about any riffraff. So if you're interested in that, as always, there is a link to that down in the description below, patreon.com/JustinPhillip. And yeah, I hope you all take advantage of those Nanguang links, and stay tuned in the future, because I cannot wait to share with you this awesome new DIY fixture that I've been using along with my Nanguang Pavo tubes, and I actually found out about it from some high-budget feature films. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. And for now, thank you for watching, and that's a wrap.